Well, they shipped the Ayatollah casket around. A bucket funeral is what I call it. They got a bucket and they shoveled everything up and threw it in the bucket and put it in a casket and sent it off. And once it left Iran's territory, they did their attacks on merchant vessels. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Charlie Kirk trial. We're going to talk about Trump's visit to The Hague, dealing with these NATO screwballs, and a lot of other things. But what do I do? Where is everybody? Whoa, got to make sure my screen's working here. I got to make sure people come. We shall see. All right. So what do? I play videos while people come in. I got a fresh one for you. After I play this little one that we all know about, but a lot of the general public don't know about. But anyway, we will be like butter and get on roll.
Bill Clinton.
Nice guy. Got a lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island with Jeffrey Epstein. A lot of problems.
In China alone, we have identified more than 1,000 birth tourism companies that are almost exclusively focused on the United States. Our federal government does not track this information because there is no centralized collection of information on the nationality of parents who are giving birth. China, however, has done estimates themselves, and the numbers are eye-popping. The Chinese government gave an estimate a few years ago. Their estimate was that on average 50,000 Chinese citizens a year were giving birth in the United States or at U.S. territories like Saipan. There are others like Professor Salvatore Barbonis from Australia who believes that number is higher. He's estimated 100,000. In 2018 alone, 180,000 managed to give birth in the United States. No one knows what the actual number is, and that is the challenge that we face today. If you do the math, if you look at the ramping up of this activity over the last 13 years, and you take the ballpark estimates, you are looking at roughly 1 million, quote-unquote, U.S. citizens who are being raised in the People's Republic of China today. If you look at the websites of these birth tourism companies, they will tell you who is hiring them. These are not political dissidents. These are military officers, people from the Ministry of Propaganda, people that are high-ranking officials in the Chinese Communist Party. In other words, these are part of the CCP establishment.
It is not the critic who counts. Not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred with dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat.
I was the hunted, and now I'm the hunter.
Storm zone. Yes, sir. I'm wondering what storm you're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
And he's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
I think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give President tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and HE in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn, and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time. He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he perceives as enemies. Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. Yes, we will certainly take care of it. How is everyone doing tonight? So nice of you to join me. Ha ha ha. Who do we have? Tammy's here, and Todd. Sherry, nice to see you. Robin, Rebecca, Elva. Wayne's here, giving me thumbs ups. All right. Johnny's here. Nice to meet you, Johnny. Robin's here. All right. We got a lot of the coffee gang coming in. Ha ha ha. Yeah. Coffee crowd. That's what you should call it. Hi, Sherry. Nice to see you. Roland, you're in early. Aha. Melinda's here. Rubber Toe. Let's see who else is here. Wow. We're having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave. Y'all remember that song? Isn't surprising, the temperature's rising. She certainly can. Can. Hi, Todd. Nice to see you. Cole's here with Tammy. There's the younger gang. Darla's here. Miss Mindersoo said Moab incoming. I gotta get my bombs ready for that. Yeah, Pappy Two Bears. All right, we start a new week. Miss Mindersoo's gonna start off the new week. All right. I'll tell you what, that's great. Let's see, who else is coming in? Let's see. If I miss anybody, you know I don't mean to do it. Yeah, Planner. So he's suspending it, then he says he's not gonna, and then he's gonna. They're gonna drive him out, they're gonna run him off like a bum. What we want to hear, bro. That's what we want to hear. Linda, nice to see you. All right. All my lurkers and all the people that tune in after the broadcast. All right, Miss Menderson's give me a reminder. Put my booms up. Where's my booms? for the coffee crowd and Miss Menderson dropping a Moab last week. Let me get my booms going here. I gotta get it. Here's one. I got it. They gotta load up for some reason. It's a kind of a specious special effects. You gotta get them going. But I had Younger Gang and Robin and Wayne and Mike and Bev contribute last week. Let's see. Come on, boom. I want you to boom on the screen. How you like my thumbnail? Kaboom! There you go. And I got my smaller ones that I do. Kaboom! Kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. And I do extra booms for Miss Mindersoo for dropping a Moab. Or kabow, 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 kabow. So anyway, and my friend Gary, I hadn't seen him in a while, but he drops Moabs. Kaboom! There we go. So anyway, I hope everyone's doing well. And yeah, Plattner. He's under heavy fire, but here's some I had from couple of days ago, Dems wishing there'd been some sort of sign that Plattner was a bad person. Yeah, if only they knew. Of that dopey John Fetterman, disavowing him, which is all right. But you know what I think of Fetterman? He's all right, but he ain't good enough to be a Republican yet. You're not a Jedi yet. R.I.P. allegations mar reputation of local Yahtzee. So anyway, yeah, he's got more problems. As they used to say, then Carter's got liver pills. You know, I had a bunch of posts from Trump about his, and I've talked about him in the past, of his opening those accounts up for infants, American. There he is, opening the stock exchange, and they're setting it up where companies can put into Trump accounts for young kids, for infants, newborns in America, and it's not getting near enough coverage. Shame on me. I should have said something about it. I hope y'all can hear me over the video. I should have said more about it. He's working so hard to do that stuff. But, you know, we're inundated with the negativity and what people consider to be reporting that's just planting nonsense in people's heads. What's this one? Here's an example. How do you report on this stuff? Well, how is this a report? Did anybody hear about this even being an issue? Federal judge says Trump's broad January 6th pardon doesn't apply to D.C. pipe bomb suspect. Why are they seeing it? Why is CNN putting this up here? You think Trump had anywhere in his mind to allow pardon for the pipe bomb suspect? Hell no. But get this report. A federal judge ruled that President Donald Trump's expansive pardon of J6 rioters does not apply to a Virginia man accused of planting 2 pipe bombs in Washington, D.C. the night before. He didn't say anything for any January 5th, people. I mean, did he even start this so-called litigation just to smear Trump? You think Trump wanted them to pardon this person? Hell no. Ridiculous. I guess no. But the way it's presented seems like, oh, Trump's even trying to pardon a person who planned the bombs. Totally misleading. And don't forget Mitch McConnell. Oh, we're getting mixed messages on this. First, they're saying Laura Loomer said he's brain dead. And then we got people coming out. Scott Jennings, one of them too. And also people in Congress, Senate Republican leaders saying they spoke to Mitch McConnell as he remains hospitalized. Let me see. I got a couple of pictures. Oh, here's Babylon Bee. They got something to say about it. Mitch McConnell's staff assures the public his death will not prevent him from finishing his term. So what's going on with Mitch McConnell? And I don't know, is this one of those things where the governor appoints someone to finish someone's term? Kind of like, what was his name? I called him Sonic Hedgehog. He went to jail for a while, who put in Obama's replacement. What was his name? Blagojevich. Remember that, folks? Blagojevich. He was going to appoint Obama's replacement in the Senate. He said, "Man, this is effing gold, man." And then they put him in the can for, I think it was a sentence for 15 years, and then they got him out earlier. But probably no small thanks to Trump. But what do they do with in Kentucky? Is it because I heard the governor was demanding proof of life? Is that what you all heard? See if anybody heard any updates. Here, look at this crap. CNN again. It's true. Commie News Network. People have been saying that for years, but now it's like, well, you know, something going on there. I think they got a point. The growth in the number of people seeking treatment abroad comes as healthcare costs in the U.S. have climbed to record levels. Oh, Trump's been in office for, let's see, 18 months. 18 months. So, the whole healthcare situation is Trump's fault now, right? Since they can't say anything about eggs. I got 18 eggs for $2.19. And look what the picture is that goes along with it. A growing number of Americans are visiting parts of where? Asia. For cheaper medical treatments. They're showing a commie symbol up there. Red background with the gold star. That's the subliminal, right? The subliminal. Things are better under that system than the capitalists, the greedy capitalists. Tell me that's not commie propaganda. That's the way I take it. That's the way. So anyway, Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, is finished. Let's see, is this where Marco Rubio laughs about Trump is talking about the Iranians? And I think they're talking about the nuclear weapons. He said, yeah. They said somebody named Muhammad, somebody was going to go down there and look at the nuclear dust. And you see Marco Rubio. I think this is a clip. And he said, we're keeping a sharp eye on that nuclear dust. But you see Marco Rubio's reaction when he says, Muhammad, somebody or another.
Stephen Nelson from the New York Post. I'd like you to address speculation that you're leaving Ankara not in the new Air Force One because of security concerns involving Iran.
This is the one where I'll start it again. Where the reporter asked him. See, he put up a post about the new Air Force One. He said he sent Air Force One for some cadets to look at it, and he arrived at the meeting in the old Air Force One. And this reporter is saying, were you concerned? Did you do that out of concern? And Trump's answer.
Stephen Nelson from the New York Post. I'd like you to address speculation that you're leaving Ankara not in the new Air Force One because of security concerns involving Iran. You've spoken today twice about them possibly assassinating you and possibly being successful. Did that concern have something to do with it?
Well, I speak about it a lot because, you know, the life of a president is very dangerous. It's 5.2%. You know what a race car driver is? 0.1%. A bull rider, that looks pretty dangerous to me. It's 0.1%. No, it's 5.2% is you don't make it. You should have told me. You're an excellent reporter. You should have told me that years ago. Maybe I wouldn't have run. It's a very dangerous profession. No, I'm #1 on the kill list for Iran. They're lovely people. I'm #1. So I don't know. I can't tell you that, but I don't really care because I'm doing my job and I'm doing it, I hope, better than anybody's ever done it because we have a country that's hot and really, really successful. But I mention it only because it's on the list. I mean, it came out. There was another list came out yesterday, and I'm #1 on. I like being #1 on TikTok better, but I'm #1.
Yeah. He laid out a lot of stuff plump and plain at that NATO meeting, and that was one of them. He knows he's dealing with a bunch of. It's not just Iran. It's not just Iran. It's the powers, the principalities that are controlling many of the members of this club. This club right here. Let me see. Get on the screen. Come on, club. Here they are. There they are. Like Trump said, I don't trust anybody. That's a bunch you can't trust. So you got Mark Rutte standing in the middle and Donald Trump to his left and Erdogan to the right, because they met in Turkey. And Trump said, I wouldn't come if it wasn't for Erdogan. And he's a strong leader. You know, security guarantees that he probably wouldn't have trusted with anybody else on that side of the Hormuz Strait. So anyway, I got a report where he is removing Turkey from sanctions for supporting terrorism along with Syria. And remember, he said that they kept screwing around in Lebanon. Instead of Israel handling it, he just said he'd let the Syrians handle it. You know, that's under a whole new thing down there, and a whole new regime. But anyway, let me get rid of some of this Plattner stuff. Hi, Kim. You doing all right? I hope you are. Did I miss anybody else? Sparky's here. Yeah, he pulled a switcheroo on him. And he put up some posts about it. If I come across them, I'll put them up. Yeah, prove that he's alive. You figure, you know, this whole thing with McConnell, I didn't know it happened better part of a month ago, 3 weeks ago. I didn't know that. Did you all know that? Here's the welcome Trump got in Turkey. When he landed, do you think anybody else in the NATO group got the welcome Trump got? I doubt it. I bet that door weighs 200 pounds. But anyway, there he got a meeting fit for a person of his station, of course. You fell down the steps. Oh my word, socks. Yeah, it'll be a joint Air Force base. Yeah, people don't realize they're snug in their bed and Trump is still flying around taking care of business. Money gonna be okay. All right, Randy. Where'd that? Oh, all right, there it is. All right, buddy. All right. Well, we wish you luck with that, buddy. You know, and follow the orders. If they tell you to get up and move, get up and move. They tell you to stay still, whatever it takes. But anyway, let me see what's going on here, what we got in the gallery. Fetterman throws shade at own party for getting in bed with dirt bags. Well, he is a socialist himself. Code word for commie, okay? Let me see if this is Fetterman or not. This one might be, if it's not, it's the one next to it. I got two videos the same length of time. Let's see what this one is. Yeah, there he is. There he is. Did his ears shrink or what?
Regardless, now when the entire Democratic Party in Maine has called him to leave, and now also, as far as I know, whether it's Schumer, Gillibrand, and other leadership in the DS and other people have all called him, had to go. He's a dead man walking. I don't know why he's trying to pretend that he's not done too. Even those Pod Save America people that pushed that dirtbag, and they dismissed those things in the New York Times article. Maybe they ought to apologize to the women that clearly they didn't believe or they dismissed that. I know Democrats that have, back to back endorsed and got all in on Swalwell and were on the Plattner train as well too. So maybe stop, getting on bed with absolute dirtbags, someone like Platt.
Yeah, they buried that stuff about, what's his face? Swalwell. They buried that. You don't hear the media talking about that. And Bob Menendez going to prison as Democrat senator. But anyway, you see that what he had in front of him, it said, fight oligarchy. And that term is from Russia, oligarchs. They've been using that term for 100 years. You know who started that in the American political system? Using that term, oligarch, instead of patriarch or robber barons or whatever terms that we used to use years ago. Bernie Sanders brought that over from Russia. Well, I'll say, to be fair, that's where I heard it for decades and decades. Oligarchy. It wasn't part of the American lexicon till I heard Bernie Sanders saying it. So anyway, people don't even know how to spell it. So anyway, a Maine lawyer says Graham Plattner is supporting her to replace him. State Representative Valley Geiger told local media on Wednesday that embattled Democrat Party by the nominee by Graham Plattner is supporting her. I don't know. I don't even know who she is. But if she's another wild-eyed trans rights and socialist this and that and all that garbage, who cares? Get lost. Put an egg in your shoe and beat it. Here's another report about Graham Plattner. Plattner cancels all scheduled appearances as campaign unravels. But then there were conflicting reports where he's saying he was going to stay in and fight. He's reportedly weighing whether to drop out of the race. So according to this report, he hadn't got there yet. He hadn't got there. But the way they're turning on him, Chuck Schumer's turned on him, Fetterman's turned on him, The View's turned on him big time. What's this one? Oh my gosh. A dopey YouTube influencer I've never heard of. Have you all ever heard of a person named Jackson Hinkle? American Jackson Hinkle leads Down with America chant at Supreme Leader funeral on foreign soil at an enemy's funeral, disparaging the United States. What do you think is going to happen with this person? Hassan Piker, was going over there supporting or the allegations are a foreign entity. So here's a guy over there. If he wasn't doing this, hard to say what would happen to him over there. I'm not kidding. But anyway, here he is, a YouTuber. I don't think he should be let back in the country, or if he is, they ought to go ahead and arrest him for subversive activities.
Regardless, now when the entire Democratic Party in Maine has called him to leave,
well, that stinks. 52-second video. Oh well. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Is this the one? I don't even know what the guy looks like. Yeah, I think this is it. Let me see. What was his name? Hinkle?
Don't be USA. به زبان خودش بگید چه میکنه. دست همه بالا، موبایل همه روشن. پیغام میدان انقلاب به دولت آمریکا. وگرنه آمریکایی هم پیدا میشه که اینطوری آزاده باشه. دست همه بالا. ببینیم خودش چجوری میگه، شما هم جوابشو بدید.
Down with USA. Down with USA. Down with USA. Down with Zionists. Down with Zionists. Down with USA. Down with Israel.
Yeah, so go ahead and snatch him up. Vic, who? Let me see. Get the stuff out of the screen. Away the screen. Vic Condi, no, Condiff, no. Frank, how you doing? There's so many info. There's a guy that kept coming on with a cowboy hat. Everybody went to watch his videos. And he was a good guy. He's an all right guy, but he had all the executive orders remembered where he could prattle them off real fast. And he's selling his own albums. Who is that guy? Everybody started watching him, all excited that they were going to hear some kind of classified information. And hi, Sinsin, how you doing? There's so many of them that pop up out of the ground. I can't keep up with them. I can't. There's only so many people I can watch in a day's time. And plus my own checking stuff out. And what I feel is pertinent and telling. Here's Graham Plattner. Look at him. He's so innocent looking. Yeah.
Scott, how do you think the Collins campaign deals with this? Do they even need to? I mean, this has a life of its own, obviously.
Yeah, I don't really think they need to deal with it at all. I mean, she's not in charge of picking the Democratic opponent for herself. All she needs to do is be herself. She's the most moderate bipartisan senator in the United States Senate, and she doesn't have any of these kinds of crazy allegations, not one single issue for her laying out there. All she has to do is campaign as someone who does what she thinks is right, no matter who the president is, no matter which party had the idea. She's a very bipartisan person. She's a very even-keeled person who's got a long record in Maine. People know her, and so I don't think she needs to do much of anything at all. I do think the Democrats here, though, are starting to have to answer some questions about their party's process. They did this with Biden. He had no business running for re-election. They nominated him and they took him out. And through an undemocratic system, they put in Harris. Now, Plattner, they nominated him. And now through an undemocratic process, they're going to take him out, too, and put somebody in that the voters didn't actually choose. This is happening over and over and over again. The party of democracy is turning out to be anything but when it comes to these candidates who get all these votes and then they take them out, right before the deadlines of putting people on the ballot.
Yeah, I'm reading the comments. Yeah, that's who it was. Derek Johnson. I think he's a good guy. I don't have anything against him. But like I'm saying, it was, the same thing. They're kind of like a flash in the pan, and it ends up being a circular conversation. You hear the same things over and over again about the executive order number this, executive order number that, how JAG works, the laws that have been passed, the laws that are on books, and most of us know all that anyway. It's spend an hour of your day listening to Charlie Ward and Mel K over and over again, and what's that guy's name that I got mad about before? Scott McKay and Phil Got a Loose Screw, and all it's just the same drum beat. And not saying he's not informative and entertaining. Derek Johnson, hi Greg, how you doing? But why? I hear you. It's the same circular conversation over and over again. Like, who was it? Juan 107. Remember that? You listen to the same hour into the thing, you say, wait a minute, this is the same thing I heard last week. Let's see. Frank's here. Sin, nice to see you. Greg's here. Wanda, nice to see you. It's a circular conversation, and I don't need to be bucked up anymore. And you'd hear things. Then halfway through the broadcast, you say, wait a minute, this was taped last year. And you're just hearing broken record stuff. I don't have time in my day for broken record stuff. He said he talked to Mitch McConnell. Is this the clip? Maybe it's I saw a video where a young guy, I think it was a black conservative patriot. He was like, oh, Scott, don't do this. Don't compromise yourself saying you talked to Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell was your mentor. Like he was maybe not being honest or maybe being a little too positive about his condition. Scott Jennings, we all like Scott Jennings, right, folks? But you've heard me in the past talk about, like that clip I just played. When somebody looks like, I don't know if he's getting a new look. Is he growing a beard? Do you all know? I'm getting ready to take mine off. I mean, it's hot, man. I'm going to take a weed eater and fire that thing up and take this thing off, and all those birds and ants and everything in here go find a new home because it's too hot. But anyway, is he growing a beard? Or because I've talked about in the past, when people look a little rough, are they going through something? It might be a new look. I don't know. I can't say from these types of videos. But anyway, let's listen to this now. This is where he said he talked to Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, he called me this morning before I did my radio show. We talked for about 17 minutes. He talked a lot about the situation with Iran, talked a little bit about Ukraine and what's going on in Europe. I told him I'd been to the Teddy Roosevelt Library. We talked a little bit about the history of the vice presidency and how Roosevelt had transformed that in the modern presidency, a little history of the Senate. It was a wide-ranging conversation. I talked to him often. I hadn't talked to him since he'd been in. I'd gotten a few text messages from him, but I hadn't spoken to him. So it was good to hear his voice. Voice sounded strong and sounded like he was keeping up with the news to me.
Did you ask him how he was feeling?
Yeah, he said he was feeling okay. Obviously well enough to call me on the phone, and obviously well enough to talk to Barrasso and Thune. Now, look, I'm not qualified to discuss any medical issues or give you any information about that. That's really for him or his staff to do. But, I talk to him from time to time, and I see him from time to time. And, we had a conversation today about the things that we normally talk about, which are news of the day, political stuff.
Did you come away feeling like he's still capable of serving the people of Kentucky as senator?
I came away feeling that he was staying on top of the news. Again, I look, his condition and why he's in the hospital or when he might come out or look, that's.
Do you know why, and are just saying it's not at liberty to share?
I do not know why. I only know, frankly, what has been reported or what his office has said. So it was a personal, private call, but I didn't probe him too deeply for his medical record.
Now, okay, you heard what he had to say, and McConnell was his mentor. And the first clip I played of him when he's talking about Susan Collins, I was a little shocked by his appearance. Weren't you? This one, his hair's combed. I guess the Fox team, the makeup team, did a good, took care of him. But in the first clip I played just a few minutes ago, his hair was mussed up, and I was kind of taken aback. As I've said in the past, a sudden change in appearance can be indicative of a person's mental health. I said it about these Democrats. They look like they've been on a long drunk, after something big happens. Some of these attorneys that get on there after bad news about Trump, or if they think they're going to be in the spotlight, they end up looking like I say it again, like they've been on a long drunk. And that first clip I played, Scott Jennings, I said to myself, he looks like he's been on a long drunk. Now, this clip I just played, he's got his hair combed. He might be just changing his look. But a lot of people are surprised that he is saying what he's saying about Mitch McConnell. But hey, what do we know? He could have talked to him. Yeah, Kim. And Mitch McConnell never was a great speaker. I mean, yeah, Wanda, he said 17 minutes. And he never was a great speaker. Just trim it. No, it's got to go. It's got to go. Let the old face breathe. I hair up fast. It'll come back fast enough. Don't worry about that. So, anyway. Yeah, that's what they say. He's brain dead. That's what they say. And look what they did with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Look what they did with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. What is this report? Let me see. I don't even remember now. Get like 20 clips and you're like, oh my gosh. I guess I'll play it. Tyler. Jack Posobiec put up a bunch of stuff about Tyler Robinson. Clandestine did too. We'll go over that. But I might as well play this clip since I got it pulled up.
Bernie Sanders releasing the following statement on the Maine U.S. Senate race. I've spoken with Graham.
No, it's not about Tyler Robinson. It's about Bernie Sanders is pulling the rug out from Tyler Robinson. Graham Plattner. We might as well. I'm sure he's just as freaky in his mind as Tyler Robinson. But anyway, or close enough. Anyway, yeah, even Bernie Sanders is running like hell from him.
Plattner about the best path forward for Maine. In light of these very serious allegations, I have recommended that he step aside. When you look at this, Leslie, I read in Punchbowl this morning, party leaders believe Plattner will drop out of the race as soon as today. I do believe this is imminent. You can't stand up against pretty much the entirety of your party.
Well, didn't upload the whole thing. It's just, I don't care what Bernie Sanders got to say. Convenience. It's convenient for him to step away from Graham Plattner, and they'll do it. They'll sink one in your back at the snap of a finger. Snap of a finger. Who's this guy? Oh, Donald Trump posted this. Let's get into some more stuff Trump posting. One bad dude said, listen to what Marco Rubio said about socialism years ago. He's always known. Yeah, here, and this was reposted by Donald J. Trump. And I've said it in the past, folks. Who tried to take Marco Rubio under his wing years ago in the early 2000s? As soon as Rubio was elected senator, who stuck to him like glue and tried to be his mentor? Put your guess in the chats.
Socialism sounds benign, but at the core of democratic socialism is Marxism. And at the core of Marxism is this fake offer that if you turn over more of your individual freedom, we're going to provide you security. We're going to provide you free healthcare. We're going to provide you free education. But the problem is that when they can't deliver on it or when you're not happy with it, you don't get your freedoms back. And by freedoms, I don't just mean elections. I'm talking about the right to choose your own doctor, the right to make healthcare decisions for yourself, what your kids learn in school, what schools they go to. All that stuff you lose control over, and you don't get it back just because the security they promised you didn't happen. So that's what we're on the verge of having to decide here in this country. It's a reason why people flee countries that have this stuff. It's a big deal for America, and I hope people start waking up to that reality.
Yeah. Marxism, it's a scam, a sham. For the ignorant ones, the useful idiots, they love it. Sounds so good. Well, who was the senator who tried to be his mentor? I'm seeing some guesses. No, Trump was never a senator, Miss Menders. Who? A senator. Oh, yeah, Greg. Yeah. They're asleep. Yeah. And for people to try to reach them, that's sorcery, and necrophilia. Chris Jenny avoided the question. Yeah, well, he answered it. He said McConnell called him. Yeah, always ponder things. Don't ever take it. Paul Ryan, no. His name we shall not mention. His name we shall not mention. So I use a derivative of his name. So anyway, here's a girl. Unfortunately, she's a Democrat. But she's telling Graham Plattner, you don't run the show. Listen, you look semi-normal. Why are you a daggone Democrat? Let's see what comes out of her mouth. Never mind what her face looks like.
Hi, everyone. I wanted to provide you all an update on the U.S. Senate race here in Maine. As you know, the Maine Democratic Party has been working around the clock to develop a process to replace our U.S. Senate nominee that is open, inclusive, transparent, and fair. The integrity of this process is just as important as the outcome, and we are committed to ensuring that Democrats across our state can have confidence in both. Unfortunately, Graham Plattner's team has repeatedly reached out to us in an attempt to put their thumb on the scale of what this process looks like. We have repeatedly reiterated to Graham Plattner's team that they have no role in determining our next Democratic nominee for the U.S. Senate, nor in determining what this process looks like. We have also reiterated that Graham Plattner must drop out of this race so that Democrats in Maine can focus on defeating Susan Collins this November. We look forward to making this process public as soon as Graham Plattner formally withdraws from this race.
Okay, well, yeah, you look normal, and you don't like Graham Plattner because you're finding out horrible stuff. You're not going to drive me into communism, a lifestyle of Marxism, reporting to a bunch of apparatchiks in the government. You're not going to take our kids and confuse them psychologically, abuse them psychologically by doubting their gender. You're not going to get away with that stuff. You're not going to get away with the fraud and inducing foreigners to come in and overwhelm our country because you got some irrational guilt and instead of pride for your nation. Okay, so you better get yourself straightened out because you're not going to find a man. You're not going to have any kids. If you do find a man, he's going to be a soy boy, a weirdo, and you'll probably fool around on him anyway with like a tough guy, That's your future. So anyway, yeah, it's McStain. Araceli, how are you? No name, Randy said. That's right. Wanda, you not supposed to say the name. We don't say his name. It's McStain. Ha ha. So Wanda, you should take that comment down and put the word in there that we call him McStain. Nothing to do with McDonald's. But anyway, just a human interest. This guy is the tallest police officer in the United States. Now, he could make a bunch of money going in the wrestling circuit, but he looks like a nice guy. He doesn't look like he's built for going in there and acting like he's breaking people's arms and legs. He's 7'3". 7'3".
At Kemah City Hall. He is officially joining the department after graduating from the police academy and passing a state licensing exam. He's a big guy. At 7 feet 3 inches tall, Wilmore is believed to be one of the tallest, if not the tallest, police officer in the country. Awesome. Now, we first introduced you to him last fall as a police cadet as he worked toward his dream of serving the community.
I mean, I didn't really just become a police officer just to arrest people and, go look for this, but I just wanted to be the community officer as well.
How about that? Now, while he was preparing for his exam, he got encouragement and a visit from NBA Hall of Famer Shaquille O'Neal. We all love Shaq. Wilmore will officially be on the streets of Kemah as an officer starting on Friday. We wish him the very best.
I think that one picture he was standing there with his mom and dad. I said, what have you been feeding him? What do y'all feed him? Corn and beef. But anyway. Let me see. I'm just looking through the chats. Yeah, him and Shaq arrest somebody. There ain't going to be too much trouble there, is it? Wouldn't be much trouble. Break up a bar fight pretty quick, wouldn't they? But anyway, let's see what else we got here. Donald Trump putting up a number of posts. Oh, I couldn't get into that in the title because Zelensky's name's so long and I put so much stuff in there. But, there's going to be something happening. Remember, a few days ago during my broadcast, I showed you where Trump and Putin had a long phone call, hour and a half. And I said, the plan's coming together. It is a coordinated special military operation, military police action in my mind. Now here is President Zelensky and I just had a news conference with the fake news. It went very well. Everybody is looking for a solution. Very positive, Donald J. Trump. Didn't hear no reports on it from the fake news. Did you all hear from the fake news about Zelensky meeting with Trump? Did you all hear from the fake news about Trump talking to Putin? No. Did you hear it from Mountain Man? Yes. Something came out today that is more significant than people realize. Agent Hull said Tyler Robinson brought Chick-fil-A at the student center. I got a clip of that. We'll get into that when I talk about this Tyler Robinson stuff. But, I guess I'll go ahead and play the clip. They put out so much video of this Tyler Robinson wandering around. He visited that university 4 times on the same day. He was casing the property out, and they got him on video. But anyway, here's Jack Posobiec. I guess he got this guest on. I guess they'll get the receipts from this. If he used a credit card, debit card, or whatever. But they got him on video. It's very little doubt he was there.
One of the things that he mentioned was that, just a new nugget of information, but that Tyler Robinson ate Chick-fil-A prior to going and getting the rifle from the car and coming back to campus. Now, I'm sure that's something that people can, make a lot of hay about, but there's actually something significant there, and it's similar to this report that he was at a Dairy Queen afterwards. If he was making purchases there using a credit card or a debit card, that can be tied directly to him, which means that aside from just having this high-quality footage, we can also see things like having his credit card and debit card, finding that digital transaction. We can then use those finances to say, yes, this was his card, in the same way that having the police officer with that interaction late at night had the is that there are going to now be more ways to even further corroborate this bombshell video that's coming out in court today.
Yeah, they got video from TMZ. I got some of the video. They see him change clothes. They see him with his Converse sneakers on. They see him in the same clothes laying on the roof. And sweet daydreams. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. This business, what did he hide out with the lizard people in Antarctica? Is that what happened? Let me find this here. Clandestine. Clandestine put this up. From a strategic standpoint, this Tyler Robinson evidence came at a wonderful time. The woke right morons. Now, that's the first time I've heard the term woke right. You know, that's because I don't go to a lot of different places. Has woke right been a term for a while, folks? The woke right. The woke right morons are in absolute shambles. Right as we head into the peak of the midterm election cycle, their entire narrative just went up in flames, and more people are starting to come to their senses. This little woke right insurgency has been losing steam for months, and this is what I guess he means by the woke right. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Massey. Remember the trouble they're causing? They were sent packing, and I think the evidence comes out of the Tyler Robinson case is going to be the straw that breaks the camel back. Not only are the woke right imploding, but the Dems are also in a free fall. They've gone full communist, and they're dealing with their Nazi predator Plattner scandal. This comes after the Swalwell scandal and the whole fraud thing in Minnesota and other blue states. Not to mention the Epstein files. That showed the Dem elite were frequently communicating with and working with Epstein. Yeah, I want to know how come nobody's wanting to investigate why was Epstein on the phone with members of Congress while Congress was in session. That's a fact. The whole biolabs in Ukraine thing that turned out to be real, the 2020 election fraud, the treasonous Russiagate hoax, the list goes on and on. Trump and MAGA are surging, while both the left and woke right are on life support. Right as we enter the final stretch, leading into the midterms, we are winning bigly. Winning bigly. And his parents turned him in. He admitted he did it. Breaking. Tyler Robinson's trans lover, Lance's furry lover, his DNA was found on a screwdriver and a towel at UVW after Charlie Kirk was killed. That was on the roof because he used a screwdriver to assemble the scope and stuff on the rifle. And his roommate's DNA was on there, along with his. Male DNA was obtained from item 7.1. Item 7.1 was interpreted as originating from two individuals, one of whom is Twigs. Well, I wonder who the other one is. He did it bigger than Shite, okay? S-H-I-T, did it bigger than that. Last year, a YouTuber named Turkey Tom had a whistleblower come forward and blow the whole toxic story open on Twigs and Tyler Robinson. drugs, black market HRT, extreme S3X, chat obsession. And I'm not going to play this or pull those things up. It's disgusting, but it's on YouTube. The Charlie Kirk Killer's Discord logs. One of the people that were watching the videos, they were posting freely and openly on the internet that children had access to, was so filthy. Somebody put in here, bro, if I were religious, I would have called an exorcist for that. That in itself. If they'd have done that, Charlie Kirk would be alive today. Both of these creatures should have been thrown in jail. For that kind of, when you put stuff on the internet, it's public. But there's no such thing as public decency laws anymore. By the, what do they call it? The standards of the day. Standards of the day. Garbage standards. Where's that one video? Here's the video of him when his parents, his family, his sister, was it? And his parents, he confessed. He told them they brought him down to the station. Here he's coming in wearing the same tennis shoes. He's on video in a prone position, taking a shot at Charlie Kirk.
And Agent Davis, who are we seeing here?
That's Tyler Robinson.
And although we are watching it on video, what is he wearing at this time?
He's working a dark colored baseball cap with that's like a white symbol on front. It's a burgundy short sleeve shirt with no graphics. It's blue jeans and gray and white tennis shoes. I believe they're Converse style tennis shoes.
Thank you. Was Mr. Robinson, you stated that he was arrested in the early hours of September 12th, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Did he remain in Washington County Sheriff's Office, or was he taken somewhere else?
No, he was transported from there to the Utah County Jail.
Yeah. There, he was wearing the same shoes, the same ball cap, everything as the person lying in the prone position. The person... it's him. The attorneys are admitting it's him in the videos. And, you know, I don't want to get my Irish up, but people believing this kind of stuff is very, very disappointing. It's very hurtful to the family. And you can't have justice done when your mind is wait a minute, what's this one? Is this another video? Oh yeah, here's some more video. There he is. See him up there? See him up there at the top of the steps? Oh no, it's a clone. It's one of Epstein's clones from the Montana ranch or whatever, right? Because Mossad set up this innocent Tyler Robinson. It's really the JEWs. Never mind that this animal posted the filthiest stuff you can think of with his, quote, lover on the internet. They would never think of hurting Charlie Kirk. It's a setup by BB.
We have... From my viewing and seeing Mr. Robinson on the video, it's the same person.
He's noticeably wearing different clothing.
He is wearing different clothing, and he also is walking with a gait or a limp in this video.
With a gait or what?
A limp.
Okay.
Mr. Robinson coming up the stairs of the parking structure. Again, he seems to be having issues walking.
Now, while we're watching Tyler Robinson limp up the steps, which is with obviously a rifle shoved down his pants. Okay, Tyler Robinson, the actual killer, going up the steps with a timestamp just before Charlie Kirk got shot. Let me ask you something. Why couldn't he make that shot, Doc? And how could it not be a 30-06? How far was the shot? How far away was the shot? He had a scope. And how far away was the shot? Answer those two questions. Why couldn't he make that shot? Let's watch this murderer go up the steps.
And again, were you able to track Mr. Robinson when he leaves this parking structure?
Yes, we were able to.
Okay. So when he leaves the parking structure, where does he go?
He comes up around Campus Drive, as you can see on the video here. There is a cut through there north of the Losi building, and that's Mr. Robinson coming up the sidewalk. He has the noticeable gait or limp in his walk. And then he moves south across the front of the Losi building.
On the sidewalk?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Anybody worth their salt could have made that shot with just the irons. They didn't need a scope, but he used a scope and he practiced with that gun. He's got videos of him practicing with that very same rifle. What does it take? What does it take? Here's Posobiec. Sat feet from the Kirk family in the tense Provo court. Charlie's parents held it together with quiet strength. Erica right beside them. In another row, Tyler Robinson's parents sat in silence. SWAT lining the walls. Just one short bar away, the accused assassin himself. I wouldn't have put the word accused in. We now have high-quality footage of Tyler Robinson walking around the UVU campus. Even his own lawyers were referring to it as him in points in court today. This is substantial and includes footage of him in the prone position at the sniper's perch. Posobiec's there in the courtroom, giving updates. This is the verse the defense wanted blocked today. Have you not read that the one who made them at the beginning made them male and female, and said, for this reason a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh? No, you don't want that in the courtroom. But that is what he was justifying why Charlie Kirk had to go. In his sick mind. Defense tried very hard to block evidence today that religious and political views were the motive for the shooting. Specifically those regarding gender and sexuality issues. Tony, the trans boyfriend, who testified today. He assembled a rifle on the roof and left the screwdriver behind after he ran away following his murder of Charlie Kirk. It is on video that he runs immediately after the shot, giving him no time to disassemble the rifle. Then there's video of him wandering around trying to get to the woods where he left the rifle. They got it on video. I'll show you all a site you can go to, a YouTube creator. I've been on a show before, and you can actually see him go frame by frame, analyzing him parking in front of neighbors' houses, him walking along a fence line, trying to get his grandfather's gun back. Tyler Robinson's interaction with officers on UVU campus. They actually interact. He was there. He visited 4 times. Following Charlie Kirk shooting led them to take note of his license. An officer with the Spanish Fork Police Department stopped the vehicle, in which the officer took note of the license plate. That's according to investigator David Hull. So he was acting squirrely. That's because he was waiting for an opportunity to get the rifle back, which we know, of course, he failed. Let me see if there's anything else. I got I got a lot on what's happening in Russia, Ukraine, and Iran. But anyway, clandestine. Everybody wants. We've been right about a lot of stuff. Caught a lot of guff. To be perfectly clear on my stance, pay attention. Everybody who's given their precious time to people who talk about Jewish operatives popping up out of the hatches in the ground and all this other crap, pay attention. And I'm sorry you wasted your precious time. The evidence clearly indicates that Tyler Robinson was a shooter. But I never said he acted 100% alone. Could there be co-conspirators? Absolutely. He was at the very least influenced by Antifa ideology based on the carved inscriptions on the bullet casings. And if there is evidence that there are direct co-conspirators, we can address it once that evidence is presented to us. But the bottom line, based on the mountains of evidence we have, Robinson was the shooter. He and the vehicle he registered to his name were on campus 4 times that day. He was not a UVU student. He had disassembled the rifle, stuffed in his pant leg to sneak into position, then preemptively via letter to his trans lover, hidden under the key, admitting he did it after the fact as well. And then his parents turned him in. That's where the facts stand. If you disagree, you are wrong. So maybe they gave him some kind of mind drug. Some drugs that made him say things. They put a chip in his brain while he was asleep. You know how the lizard people do. Yeah, they're trying to ride out time, Felix. But did you hear where Harmeet Dillon told them they better be turning over the voter rolls, or we're going to be taking a hard look at people aiding and abetting and conspiring to allow illegals to vote, pretending that they don't have enough money, they don't have this, they don't have that. No, that's not going to flush. That's not going to flush. All right, let me see what we got going on here. Jason Meister, Elon Musk reposted this. They arrested the President of the United States of America 4 times, charged him 91 times, indicted him 4 times, spied on his campaign, sabotaged his first term, jailed his supporters, raided his private residence, censored him, gagged him, tried to bankrupt him, and attempted to remove him from state ballots. When all of that failed, they tried to assassinate him not once, but 4 times that we know of. And they tried to go on national television to talk about how we need to vote for them to save democracy. You know, that would be a good one to put on your meta page. Come on, here we go. Let me get shrunk down. We get a screenshot of that puppy and put it on your meta page. Okay, there you go. Right at the 113 mark, 114 mark. We've got 2.5 years, folks. 2.5 years. Hi, Jack. We're going to Mars. Okay, well. I don't know about that. Having a hard time proving the moon landing happened. Anyway, let's see here. Is this true? About John Thune? Let me read it to you. But if it is true, I'm sure military intelligence knows about it. I'm sure Trump knows about it. Breaking. Rhino Senate Majority Leader John Thune revealed to have been a registered Democrat for his entire adult life up until just before his first run for public office in North Dakota. This tells you everything you need to know about this treasonous turncoat, who has just been exposed by a now former top staffer who recently resigned in disgust at Thune's open betrayal of President Donald Trump and the Republican base. This heroic former staffer's words sum Thune up perfectly. Once a Democrat, always a Democrat. Do you agree that this Trump-hating rhino has got to go now? Is that true that he was a demon rat? All the way up until his Senate run? That's why I'm always giving Fetterman the side eye. Anybody else like him? Oh, I want to be a Republican now. Get a screenshot of that if you can. Mars. We're talking about Charlie Kirk's assassin. We're talking about Iran with nuclear weapons. We're talking about a corrupt media that puts up mean pictures. The only time they put up a picture of Trump like this is when they talk about NATO. Not when Trump is fighting the demon rats, okay, or crooked judges. Midas Trash put this up. NATO just picked Sweden's Saab over Boeing for its new $4.5 billion early warning fleet. And the snub landed the same day Trump touched down in Turkey, and they spell it Turkey, just show that they're intelligence, right? Intelligent. We call it Turkey, okay? Gobble, gobble. For the NATO summer. Awkward. So they celebrate when they think Trump has had some kind of snub or defeat. That's why I call them Midas Trash. And who gives a damn if they want to rely on Saabs instead of something from Boeing? My rear end ain't going to be in that situation. I'm not going to be in a Saab. Okay? So anyway, the inference is trying to save us from climate change. They're trying to protect the LGBTQ plus community, and they're trying to save Palestine. And Trump is screwing it all up. Let's get into this. Over 430 drones were flying towards Moscow from the evening until 6 a.m. Most of them were destroyed at long-range positions, and 36 unmanned aerial vehicles were eliminated on their approach to Moscow. So Zelensky went for a big punch, and according to reports, it didn't work. So I don't know. It's according to reports. Here the reports were coming in from yesterday. The NATO summit in Ankara may not be a success due to Trump's bad mood. CNN is sabotaging Trump with propaganda. He's going to make the whole NATO summit go south because he's in a bad mood. And the reporter, the Russian, puts a joke in. It's just that the football team got knocked out. Well, you know what? That business of the U.S. getting eliminated, you know what it proves? You know what it proves? Being eliminated by Belgium, it proves Trump was right. Wait a minute. It may not be over. Not so fast, Belgium. The city of Los Angeles still has 29 days to count all the goals from today's game. How was Trump right? You know, you lose a game, that's the breaks. You do the best you can. Sports wouldn't be exciting if you won every single time. But Trump was right because he said a bad call of being allowed to stand would taint the game. The victor, if Belgium won, they would have been accused of benefiting from a bad call. They would not have faced the best. And you ask anybody that's a champion, because to quote Jack Dempsey, a champion is somebody who gets up when he knows he can't. Okay? You ask any champion, do you want to fight somebody that's got an excuse? Do you want to go up against somebody when they're at their best? A true champion will say, I want them at their best. Muhammad Ali used to say that. When a fight got delayed. Say, give him as much time as he wants. I don't want to give him any excuses when I whoop him. I want him at his best because I'm the best and I want to beat the best. And that's what Trump was saying. You play that game and take the best player out on a specious call. If Belgium does win, it's a tainted win. So Trump was right again. Now they have claim to a true victory, fighting the best, defeating the best. Zelensky will attend the dinner of NATO summit leaders in Ankara, but he will not be allowed to attend the alliance's meetings. Well, he had a meeting with Trump. And guess what he was pushed to do? You either make peace or you can fight your little heart out. That's what Trump told him. Upon arriving in Ankara for the NATO summit, Trump immediately stated that he was very disappointed with the alliance. Yes, he said he would not have attended the summit if it had not been held in Turkey, which is led by his friend and very strong leader, Erdogan. That's what I said at the beginning of the broadcast. And they make a little joke. Donnie and Ankara again remembered old grievances and stated that Greenland should give it to America. It wasn't an old grievance. He was talking about how Denmark got defeated in less than a day by Yahtzee Germany, and Denmark asked us to guard Greenland and take over Greenland temporarily for them, and we did. Why? Why should we do that for nothing? Here's a video of, I got a couple of videos with Trump with Mark Rutte. And he did. He laid it right out there. We've been paying billions and you won't help us. We're very disappointed in the way you're treating us. And it's not going to be this way anymore.
I didn't speak to Spain. Spain is a wasted cause. We don't want to do any trade business with Spain anymore, by the way. I'd like you to cut it off. Spain is a terrible partner in NATO. They don't participate to do with Spain. Cut off all trade with Spain, please, including visits. Okay, we don't want anything to do. Watch them come running back. Oh, they'll come running back. They treat this man terribly, and this man's a good man too, great man. They're lucky they have him. But Spain doesn't agree to anything, and you shouldn't carry him. I mean, you sort of automatically carry because you're protecting an area, so they're there. So they probably figure they have to protect us, right?
I don't know if I got the clip or not. If I do, I'll play it. I'll keep on going through the studio here. But he told Scott Bessent, cut off. 6 months ago, I started talking about Spain. I said we were going to be dealing with them. You're going to hear about them. They're no damn good. And I said they were commies. I said that 6 months ago. And there wasn't nothing going on with Spain that people heard about in the regular press. I heard about it. And I'll have to dig that video up where they were talking about Trump should be eliminated. That was 6 months ago. And that's when I was saying Spain was trash. Trump is saying cut off all trade with them right now, today. Now that I think about it. But anyway, here's another one with him and Mark Rutte.
Mr. President, is the ceasefire over? Is the ceasefire done? Is the MOU dead?
It's a very interesting question. To me, I think it's over. I don't want to deal with them anymore. They're scum. You know what scum is? They're scum. They're sick people. They're led by sick people. And they're vicious, violent people. And if they had a nuclear weapon, they'd use it. As far as I'm concerned, it's over.
Yeah, that's what I got in my title. They're scum. You know what scum is? That's what he said. I'll show you in a minute. Stuff here. Here you go. The U.S. will lift sanctions against Turkey, Trump announced, regarding the sanctions imposed due to the purchase of S-400 systems. Trump has no concerns about purchase of Russian air defense systems because we beat those systems everywhere they've tried to use them in other countries. We don't care. Here's the retaliatory strikes. A couple of times you heard comments like the one I'm getting ready to read you. A vehicle has been precisely targeted by a strike in Bandar Abbas, Iran. The nature of the strike suggests it may have been a targeted assassination attempt, although this has not been confirmed. What they said in other reports were that these strikes are unusual. They're not like past strikes. Here you have the Grand Ayatollah in a 5-gallon bucket stuffed into a casket taken to Iraq. Trump said it during his NATO discussions. We let them have their funeral. Everything was fine. They backed out on their word. Now that's when they sent this guy over to Iraq for all the Iraqi wackios to scream and yell over him. The coffins of martyred Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei and his family members have arrived in Najaf ahead of a funeral procession. Who cares? But anyway, right when it went over to Iraq, they started their crap up. This time, the strikes are far more different than all strikes carried out by the U.S. since the April 8th ceasefire. How are they far more different? Well, one, we saw a targeted car. U.S. strikes on Iran were 4 to 5 times larger in scope and power than a previous strike, Axios reports, citing officials. As reported, these strikes were far more different than previous ones. Breaking a new airstrike has targeted Sirik, Iran. They're getting those little islands around there along the Kirk Island. They're probably holding that out for how much you want us to do, how bad you want to get it. Here's I think I got that clip. U.S. Central Command announced that it conducted a wave of airstrikes against 80 targets. This was yesterday. This doesn't include what's happening. Using precision-guided munitions, destroyed 60 Navy fast attack boats in retaliation for Iran's attacks on vessels, MTAI or whatever, Prosperity, Wedyan, and Rek-Ayat. According to SCUM, U.S. forces targeted Iran defense systems, command and control networks, coastal radar sites, anti-ship missile capabilities, and more than 60 Guard Corps small boats operating in and around the strait. The strikes were aimed at degrading Iran's ability to continue attacks against international commercial shipping along the vital trade corridor. I've got the CENTCOM announcements. Let me go through these reports. RRGC has acknowledged a U.S. strike against Bandar-e-Mash'ar, a coastal city located north of the Strait of Hormuz near the border of Iraq. This strike is far beyond, again, we hear the same theme, far beyond all other strikes conducted by the U.S. this round. Who are these guys? What is that, class photos? Who are you? Ali Moini, a member of the Islamic Republic of Iran Air Force, and Shahab Ahmadi, a first lieutenant in the Iranian Naval Special Operation Forces, were among those who lost their lives in this morning's U.S. strikes. Who knows what's happening now? And a sad bit of news. Remember that helicopter that went down? And I asked you all if you heard anything about it. It was a search effort going on. Here. Y'all remember this? U.S. ending missing sailor search after Seahawk emergency landing. They recovered 3 crew members. Remember that, folks? Well, let me find it. They officially declared him lost, as in no longer with us. There he is. I didn't see this reported on the news either, local news. But there he is, Commander Gabriel Edwards. U.S. Navy Helicopter Squadron Commander and father of 2 was declared dead after disappearing during an emergency helicopter landing in the Arabian Sea. Despite a massive 4-day search, he was never found. So there he is. Prayers to him and his family. It's non-combat related. Take that for what it's worth. But Trump is very angry with the Iranians. They're scum. And I should have put, instead of retribution, I should have put retaliation. But that's small potatoes. The USA will remove from the list of countries that sponsor terrorism Syria. They will remove Syria from its list. Remember what I was talking about where Trump said Syria can go into southern Lebanon and take care of Hamas and probably even Palestine. Trump put up a lot of videos. He put up this right here. I voted for this. Boom. That's what it was. So that was just before the strikes, or during the strikes. I'm sorry, on Iran. That was on Trump's Truth Social. So he posted this short video. Some people were saying that he put up AI images. But I got videos off of Telegram and stuff. This stuff ain't AI. This is the real deal. That's at a port location, probably on one of these little strategic islands they're bombing. So that was posted on Truth Social. Let me see here. Oh. Has anybody heard about what's the current status with offensive operations? Most of these are off Truth Social. I got some of them off Telegram. But when I say Truth Social, I mean on Donald Trump's very own page, posting these. In case anybody's doubting the level of destruction. Here's another one. Well, yeah, he's an old terrorist, but did you ever hear the saying, it takes a thief to catch a thief? Okay, it takes one to know one. And if he's the enemy of my enemy, he's a friend, and he knows their tactics. He'd be better off wiping them out than we would. You've heard that saying before, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Let's see. Trump put this up. Speaking of fake news, breaking news, a very fair and highly respected judge in the Middle District of Florida just denied the failing New York Times desperate attempt, together with other defendants we are suing, to move our powerhouse defamation lawsuit against them to another jurisdiction. We will now have an oral argument in Florida where our lawyers will be present in great detail, will present in great detail all the ways in which the Times publishes, promotes, and deals in fake news. Thank you for your attention to this matter, Donald J. Trump. So it's the New York Times, the failing New York Times. I got some screenshots where Google was promoting them again, promoting them with a bunch of Just nothing but negative news about Trump. The phone just buried in it. Here's Scott Jennings. I forgot to put this up, folks. I don't know. Did he look like he'd been on a long drunk to you all? I spoke to my old friend Mitch McConnell this morning, the senior senator from Kentucky. We all know who he is, Scott. He's still recovering in the hospital. We talked just shy of 20 minutes about Iran, Ukraine, the unfolding situation in Maine, my visit to the Teddy Roosevelt Presidential Library, and even a little bit of Senate history. I told him we want to see him back at work as soon as possible. Now, was he doing all the talking and all you heard on the other end was, you know, or was he participating in the conversation? Who knows? It could have been one of the aides on the end of the phone. Who knows? Remember this guy? Almost the governor of Florida. Here he is. If they'd have had their way cheating in the election, this would have been the governor of Florida. Remember this guy, Andrew Gillum? They found him in a hotel with two other males, and they were participating in some kind of Tyler-esque twigs debauchery, okay, with illicit chemicals, okay. Ex-Florida Democrat governor nominee Andrew Gillum arrested for drug possession. Busted in Alabama for drug possession. How do you think things are going to work out for him down there in Alabama? Huh? Not a big shot anymore. But that could have been the governor of Florida. Here's something, we still got a lot of Iraq news to put up, some news out of Mexico. But here's some news for you. Last week, I didn't get a chance to put it up, and I thought, well, let's see how it gels out. Might have been 2 weeks ago. I had some stuff in the studio about Cohen. Remember this guy? Michael Cohen. He said he had a phone call with Donald Trump a couple of weeks ago. I didn't get a chance to put it up. Tell me what you think of this, and then I'll tell you what I think of it. Michael Cohen flips, reveals reconciliation with Trump after unexpected text. Michael Cohen said he and President Donald Trump had finally called a truce after years of bitter public feuding that culminated with Cohen serving as a witness against his former boss. Remember, he was a special guest on Midas Trash Pail Network. You could be looking at the mole of all moles, okay? Look at the last half a dozen posts on the 17th letter. What is a plant? Okay? But in this case, I'm going to use the term mole. He could be the mole of all moles. Do you realize what kind of information, inside stuff, he could have on these lawfare attorneys? On these sites that post videos that are subsidized by foreign influence organizations that are subverting the President of the United States? He could be the mole of all moles. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, I want to show you all some if you all want to go at your leisure. Let's see if I still have it in here. oh gosh, where'd it go? Gray Hughes investigates. If you all want, you know, if you say, oh, Tyler Robinson was set up, go to his channel. I've been on his program before. You know, I'll be doing whatever I do in life, and every now and then I'll pop on a live stream with people. You know, you just never know about it. Gray Hughes investigates. Shocking new video. Tyler Robinson headed to the woods, trying to get his gun. He's got a number of different videos. I suggest you go there to check out his investigation. And I want to remind you all, I said, remember the term buckle up. Remember that? We all know where that term came from, right? And I said, you'll hear it. I said this day before yesterday that it would mean something, and it had to do with NATO, right? It has to do with everything that's happening. Remember me saying that, folks? Who in the chats remembers that? Or am I hallucinating? Did I dream that I said that? I don't think I dreamt it. But anyway, I'm putting a link in the chat for Buy Me a Coffee. I got a video I'm going to play you right now. But I want to thank last week's crowd. Younger Gang, Robin, Wayne, and Mike, and Bev. Where's my booms? And, of course, Miss Menderson, who's starting this week off with a Moab. And I'm going to put a boom, pow, right there, pow. So, I do appreciate it. And I've got a link in the chat for anybody who wants to go to Buy Me a Coffee and help an old man out. I do appreciate it. There's my postage stamp for people who need to scan it. But anyway, I'm going to play this video. Listen to the last part of the video. Keep in mind the 17th letter as I play this video. And it has to do with NATO and The Hague. And what do I always say? I say thank you for spending your precious time with me. And I should be going live tomorrow night, but if you're subscribed, you'll know when I go live. So if you're not subscribed, why not? So anyway, folks, I hope you all have a great evening. Enjoy this video. Listen for the last part. And I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
President Trump got the 5% last year in the...
Sir, you did it. I don't know of any American president in the modern era that could have made this possible.
And what we accomplished last year in The Hague now has to turn into real capabilities. The United States is leading the way, and we expect others to follow us and follow our lead.
And no other president is going to do what I'm doing.
Ultimately, the summit for NATO is going to be the first report card after last year's meeting in The Hague. The United States will be here, but we also need our allies to be here. We cannot do it alone, and the American taxpayer should no longer bear the burden. You're watching history, so buckle up.